If you ever find yourself in a situation or in a season where you are constantly feeling depressed, or you have this hopelessness, this feeling and this way of thinking that things will never get better, I would love to share this with you today. And that is that there is a solution. And that solution is all about you running to God. Because here's the thing, we walk by faith and not by sight. That's something that if you actively practice, it will actively make things much easier. Because sometimes what happens is what we need is not even an external change, but what we actually need is that internal change, which is just the change of the lens in which we look at situations. That's why Romans 12:2 speaks about not being conformed to this world. And then what does it speak about? The renewal of our mind, right? The renewal of our mind, that then we'll be able to actually know what is good, what is perfect, and what is pleasing to the will of God. And that is very important for us, because what we need oftentimes is just that change in perception, that change in understanding of the situation and everything that is going on around us. Because if you're feeling hopeless, I want to point you to the promises of God. I want to point you to the character and the nature of God, right? Who He is and who He has revealed Himself in Scripture. Because I'll tell you this, right? When you take all these 66 books and you find who this God that we serve is, you will realize that the more you rely on Him, the more you lean on Him and put your faith in Him, the better your life is going to be from a perspective of peace. Because there's a certain level of control that sometimes we want to hold on to. Meanwhile, we should just give that control over to Him. Give it to God and allow Him to direct your steps. Allow Him to take control over your life. And He's the one that will help you, because He will lead you to the good things. He will lead you to the good situations. But at the end of the day, it's never even about those situations, but it's about having God Himself. So if you're ever finding yourself in that situation of being hopeless, that situation of not knowing what is next, or struggling, and you know that worry, that hope, I want you to know that God has a will and His purpose for all creation, and in that is His will and His purpose for you. That God created you for a reason, that there are things that He wants in and through and for your life, and all of those things you have to go and run to Him. They include you running to Him. They include you putting your faith in Him, and they include Him showing you His love. They include Him showing you His purpose. They include Him providing for you, Him giving you peace, Him showing you His nature, because that's what He wants. Even when we read John 3:16, it tells us, "For God so loved the world that He sent His only begotten Son." He loves you that much. So now, what about your situation? Of course He can help you with your situation. If He's able to do something so great, of course He can help you with your situation. But this is where intimacy and walking with God comes in, right? Let us actively practice running to God. And I pray that He helps you with your situation, and that you don't just walk out of it, but you walk out of it transformed. You walk out of it with greater intimacy. You walk out of it with a greater walk with God, and that you're closer with God, and that you never leave Him, because He will never forsake you. He will never leave you. But sometimes we are the ones who actually leave that path of Christ. And I pray that is not you, that is not your brothers, your sisters, anybody. We just need to stay with God. And so at the end of the day, that hopelessness, I pray that it is gone, that you are able to stay in this path of Christ, and that He gives you that peace, He gives you that direction, and gives you what you need according to His will and purpose. God bless you and be with you always.